All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Labb with my co-host Deborah. Today is Sunday, June 28th, 2009, at 9:45 p.m. Tonight we're doing something a little bit different. We were going to be covering three cases and doing an update for Michael Jackson. That case is getting plenty of coverage. We put out basically what we needed to do anyways. But we have on the phone with us Gale St. John. She's down in Orlando, Florida, searching for Tracy Ocasio. She's on the phone with us right now, and she's going to be discussing some of the events that happened today, the search so far, and what she has planned for the future. She's going to be down there until July 5th. So anyways, what I do is I'm going to have her on tonight. So basically, she's going to be telling you everything, and that's all we're going to be discussing tonight. So Gail, welcome, and the show is all yours.
Oh, thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
No
Hi,
problem.
Deb.
Hi, Gail. Thanks for being on.
I'm glad to be out here. What I want to kind of talk about first is I have gotten emails, people asking about the blind drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did do the blind drive. We completed the blind drive on Friday. The surprise was we didn't quite end up where we thought we'd end up, so we still may be doing more of a blind drive, but it stopped us at a certain point, and I guess I would say curiosity got the best of me, as usual, or I wouldn't be in this work. And Cindy and I got out and entered into this wooded area. The street is just right down the street from the bar where Tracy Ocasio was last seen, Florida Tap Room. Now, the one street bordering it is Raleigh, comes up there, and we actually entered from the opposite side of the woods. So, Brian, if you have the map up there, everyone can see the opposite side. I'm not sure the street is west.
I got it up right now. Now, this is the area that Gail's going to be talking about what had happened. In the center of the map, the street that's in yellow, that's actually Riley Road. To the north of that is the area that she's talking about. And I'll zoom in a little bit. You guys get a better look at what she's going to be talking about. So it's on the screen now, Gail.
Okay. Well, I entered from the side that's, I believe that, like I said, the street is called Westwood or something like that. It's West something. My memory is not the best right now, as tired as I am. I went to go in the beginning of the woods, felt very comfortable. It was actually kind of, very nice, clean kind of park feeling to it. It was not an uncomfortable place to be. So, when I actually got there and went inside, walking through, I got about, probably halfway into the woods, and all of a sudden I became extremely paranoid. Now, I said, Brian, this is where you really come in. You've been on a search with me. You've been on a day search. You've been on a night search with me.
Mm-hmm. You don't get paranoid. You don't easily get too scared, even when it comes to alligators and pythons and whatever. So this is something different for you. So what I'm saying is that you felt that. So there's something there. I'm not sure what it is, but you getting that paranoid type of feeling. I think there's something wrong in that area.
Well, I would say after I was in there and felt very paranoid, I kept looking. Cindy and I usually will split up. You know what I mean? There's only two of us, and we have to cover, large areas. We'll split up a little bit. I kept her within my view, and I swear every stick or everything that moved or broke or I heard, I jumped. I'm just not like that. I was very uncomfortable, and I could feel as if someone was watching me. It was an extreme uncomfortable feeling. We got out of there. And I told Cindy how I felt, and that's because she said to me, she goes, "Wow, you were up there. What's up?" I said, "Well, I could feel someone watching us, and that's why I kept an eye on you. I didn't want us to be separated in case something happened." And next thing I know, if we left, I thought, okay, well, we're done. We looked around. Well, being curiosity driven, as Cindy and I both are, we went back today to get a better look. So we got out of the car, walked into the woods, didn't feel anything walking in, just sort of the normal, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything that jumped out, at me at first. Got about in the middle of the woods again, and that whole same feeling just came whooshing right over me.
Mm-hmm.
Only this time it was real strong, and I was, talking to Cindy, and I was feeling very jumpy, and she was watching me, and I was watching her. And then all of a sudden, a breeze blew across us, and we caught the scent of decomposition. Wow, that got my interest.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, kind of at that moment as the decomposition was past my nose, I was, realizing there's something out there, whether it's animal or human. Obviously our noses aren't good enough to determine that.
Right.
And and it was mixing with the sweet tree smell, and I could, pick up a lot of other scents.
Mm-hmm.
And so we began to kind of follow that scent. We're both extremely intrigued in where it was coming from. And right just minutes after we had smelled the smell and began to kind of walk towards it, I said, I kind of whispered, Cindy went, shh, 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 shh. And I said, I whispered to her, I go, someone's watching us. She goes, are you sure? I was, yes, absolutely, I'm sure. When that feeling comes over you, you can't mistake that. Well, 10 minutes later, we're just kind of easing through the area, trying to figure out where is the actual source of the scent, because it was pooling in different areas. We kept going. Obviously, it's very fresh because, for us to detect it with our human noses. But we got to the point of, going through for a little further, because I think 10 minutes passed, and all of a sudden, there was this man, maybe 20 feet from us, 30 feet. Now, I'm telling you, I'm not scared, and that's another thing of homeless people, and that's another thing you can vouch for, Brian. I've been out there, and you've seen me converse with the homeless out in the woods.
Mm-hmm. Well, one good thing is with the homeless people is that they're out there all the time. So if something were to happen out there, a lot of times, they'll see it. They might not know it's a crime, but they'll remember it, and the police use them a lot too.
I ask them questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were out at Search in Columbus.
You bring them coffee and donuts, Gale. So you bring them coffee and donuts, which is a good technique too.
Hey, the thing is, I'll get right out there and talk to them. I don't have any issues. They're just people. Some falling on hard times. Whatever. You know me. I get out there and talk, and I couldn't talk, Brian. I froze, and all of a sudden, as I stood there, it was just within seconds, everything came across me. I call it the cloak of doom, because it's like this black shit just covers me instantly. And that's a warning, and I've only had it happen 3 times that I've been out searching, and not even with gators.
Mm-hmm.
I've had this happen 3 times when I was out searching in 3 different areas, and this is over the last 30 years. So this is a long period of time, and I've only had it happen 3 times. That means impending doom, and that means my impending doom. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, of course, total fear came over, because I realized what was going on. And I grabbed Cindy, and I went, and I pointed, and I said, out of here now, out. And because he didn't hear us or see us at that moment. And needless to say, I was moving pretty fast. So was Cindy.
Mm-hmm.
And as we got further away, I told her, I says, not only did I quickly get that brief cloak cover me, but I also saw a clear figure in front of me as the cloak came over me. Of it either was like a machete or some type of large fillet knife, and I got I got the point. To move us out of there immediately to save our lives. At that point, we were in extreme danger. Extreme danger. Like I said, 30 years of this, and that's only the 3rd time this has ever happened to me. I knew we were in extreme danger. We got out of the woods finally. Being the curiosity-driven characters that Cindy and I are, I swear, even impending doom doesn't stop us. Mm-hmm. We decided to stay on the public side and go on the outside of the woods, which is closer to Raleigh Street. and we went in that side. But if you can look at the picture and realize that on the one side, if you're actually facing it woods from Raleigh Street, look at the left side. It should be open, and there's no woods next to right next to the woods. We decided to walk along the side of the road, the woods, where we could be, more publicly accessible. And we're walking. We got quite a ways back, and all of a sudden, I felt that someone looking at me, stalking. A stalking feeling. It's worse than looking at you. So I'd take several steps, and we were in sandy ground, so we weren't making any noise, and I'd stop, and I'd hear crackling in the woods of someone following our footsteps. And Cindy listened. And once again, I told her, I said, we're being stalked. We need to move it out of here now. We're not safe. I'm not getting the doom sign again, but we are not safe. So we got out of there, and Cindy said it was well over 25 minutes that I was shaking. I couldn't stop myself from trembling, and it was, mostly my hands. But it was, a huge adrenaline flow going on, trying to get out of there and trying to make sure that both of us were safe. I mean, I feel when I'm out with someone, my ability is key to keeping us both safe, and whoever's out with me. I mean, if there's 10 people out there with me, it's my responsibility to keep them safe as well. So I was extremely, concerned that both of us made it to safety both times that we did this. And we did leave the Raleigh area, the Raleigh Street area, went back at the Florida Tap Room. There is a substation there, police substation. So we did stop there, and we did notify them that there was decomp smell and a person back there. My feeling is there was more than one person. I felt at least two. But the smell of decomp, of course, could have been a dog that they killed, could have been, a million things. We'll never know, because it was absolutely too dangerous to take any more chances.
Well, with your experience, though, what do you think it was? I mean, more than likely it's not a deer, because a deer's got to cross too many streets to get to that location.
And there's no deer in there. I'm very keen at tracking, animal life, Brian. You know that.
Now, from what I know, in smelling the decomp rags that you had and stuff like that, to me it smells kind of like just a rotting animal. But you say it smells.
It's very similar. As I said, your human nose is not going to be able to detect the difference.
Okay. So
I mean, I can at times, depending what's mixing with it. Okay. But there was a lot of sweet-smelling trees. There was actually in the area, there was lemon balm, if you're familiar with what that is.
No.
It's a type of mint. It's a minty, lemony smell. That was there. So it was mixing with a lot of different smells. But it was definitely decomp. Animal or human, I don't know. But it was definitely decomp. You could tell that. But it was mixing with so many of the other scents. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. All right, but you weren't able to search the area though because of those the people that were out there. So that's a little odd.
I'm going to tell you, we were within 50 feet of whatever the decomp was.
Okay.
On the outside area where we were searching, there's another area where we saw a rolled up blanket, which was soaking wet. It could have been a human or an animal rolled up in it.
Okay.
It definitely looked the shape, but we couldn't get any closer.
Is there any idea why you think that these people would want to chase you out of there? I mean, it sounds like they were trying to scare you out of there.
I felt very uncomfortable, and I felt their mental unstable vibration that they gave off. The closest thing I can tell you to how I felt was cannibalism.
Okay.
And I'm not kidding. And
this
really
area though is surrounded by by homes and stuff. I mean, it's not. It's surrounded by businesses. I mean, it's right on. There's a CVS pharmacy, not too far from that either.
Yep, and I was. This is, like I said, 30 years. I've only had this happen 3 times, and you. Like I said,
that's why.
Also, you've been out with me. I am never paranoid.
Well, that's why I think it's interesting, and why I think you should talk about it, because that is something that is not normal. I mean, you come across a lot of dead animals, and you do get that smell a lot. But just for the feelings that you had and Cindy had.
I come across a lot of things. I'm in crack areas all the time. I'm in areas where I should be afraid, and I'm not.
Cindy was telling me Cindy had a dream. You want? I know Cindy's in bed right now. Go ahead.
Cindy had a dream. She came in this morning in my room and was talking to me. And she said, Gale, I got to tell you about this dream I had. And I said, okay, so, dream, what about it? Let me read you what she wrote about her dream. July 27th, 2009. Phone call from a detective. He was laughing and said, those bones you guys found? They're an exact match. He goes, I just thought I'd let you know. I'll get back with you when forensics are done with this, and we'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
That was her dream.
Okay, and then I told her that, I had a similar dream last night. I said, if you go to my website and check on last night's streams, you'll see that. I just pulled it up right here. And what it says the bones are an exact match. He's not happy. DNA 4, and then the word chain link fence. So pretty similar. It could be a coincidence or not. It doesn't mention anything about Trace or anything, but that's a pretty big coincidence. So
and hers didn't mention Tracy either.
Okay.
I asked her that.
Right. So that might mean something. It might mean nothing, but it was a little odd. It does say the bones are an exact match.
The word you guys used was amazing.
DD7377. That's posted on last night's streams. If you're watching this video later on, just check on dreams from today, 6/28/09. But yeah, that was kind of interesting too. So, I mean, more than likely, the smell that you're smelling was probably an animal. But
probably.
A small animal, at least from what I know, a squirrel or something, you don't
Brian,
really.
They don't give off that much.
That's what I was going to say. You don't smell that unless you're right up to it.
I pick up roadkill, as sick as that sounds.
I smell
because I train off with my dog.
Yeah, I live next to the railroad tracks.
I use roadkill.
To
train off. I don't know if people understand this, but you know what I mean. It's right. And I run him with roadkill and human cadaver scent to make sure that he's not indicating on animal ever.
Okay.
So no, be honest with you, small animals don't give off that kind of smell. That had to be dog size or larger. And Brian, there's no deer in that area.
Okay. Well, yeah, it wouldn't make any sense. The deer's got to go through an awful lot of work to get to that area. So more than likely, so what we have
I don't have any fear.
So we have a dog. It could possibly be a dog or a cat.
Possibly, I couldn't tell you.
A cat. Maybe a cat.
I couldn't tell you. I know we were about 50 feet from the source.
Okay, about 50 feet.
But why would someone just sit there smelling that?
Good question. Why would somebody?
That was our question. Why do you just sit there with that horrific smell? Why wouldn't you get rid of it? Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean?
Well, Gale, now with your knowledge of decomp, it's been a full month since Tracy went missing. If sadly that is what you were smelling when you and Cindy were out there, with what you know about that, wouldn't it be quite strong at this point?
No, really. Right now, you might be at the end of it. Wouldn't be get much at all. Depending upon if it was wrapped, unwrapped, buried, unburied, you know what I mean?
Well, what about this? Let's just say...
If it's just laying on the surface ground...
Okay, let's say I'm homeless. Okay, I'm homeless, and I'm homeless for a reason. I might have warrants.
You're going to be down to bone.
And all of a sudden, I unwrap a bag with a body in it, and I freak out, and somebody's coming toward me. Okay? Hypothetical? Maybe I'm scared. Hey, I didn't do this, but... There's something here that I can't turn myself in because I can't turn the body in because I'm wanted or something like that.
Or you're mentally not okay.
Okay.
Listen, I can't tell you, but
once again,
mental competency
describe
of that person.
Do you describe the person?
Questioning.
Do you describe the person to the police? Right.
Yes.
Okay. And
I question the competency of that person because of the feelings that I had.
okay. Well, more than likely, it's going to turn out to be an animal. I mean, it was definitely something dead.
Sure.
But this goes to show you, though, it just, people out
Well, it
searching
just goes to show you
find
how
things.
dangerous it is to go out and do this. You have 2 women out there doing it.
Right. Well, you wouldn't think it'd be dangerous, though, in that area, though. I mean, because it's surrounded with people.
Oh, no. Once again, Brian, looks are deceiving. Gotta remember that always in your life. Looks are deceiving. I have been safer in a crack area than I was today. So,
Okay. Well, no.
looks are
The thing
deceiving.
is,
Always be aware of your surroundings. Pay attention to what's around you.
But this is this is what you felt. Your instinct and your psychic abilities are what scared you.
Well,
not your common sense, because your common sense would say this area is pretty much safe.
Even if it had common sense, by the time we came up on that guy, I'd have been wondering what the heck. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Why you would be that close to decomp and not even phasing you.
Okay. Well, I mean, say it more than likely is an animal, but at least you're there. At least you reported it. That's what you're supposed to do. You find something, report it. So that's done. The area is marked, at least for us. Anything else?
Well, that's it till tomorrow. We have some other things on the map that we're going out to check, and hopefully we'll be safer tomorrow than we were today.
Okay.
And people understand out there. There's 2 of us, 2 women. This isn't always safe. Some of the areas and places that we do have to be are not the safest. We are putting our lives at risk every time we go out on a search. I want people out here to realize that there's people out there talking and not doing anything. If you're going to talk about others that are out there working, you're wasting your time. Get off your computer chair and go out and search. Don't talk about and say bad things about people that are out here doing a good job.
Okay, well said. Deborah, we forgot somebody.
Forgot somebody?
Mm-hmm.
The others that are missing here, Brian's talking about the others.
Well, I was trying to get his picture up there. Adji, Deborah, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to catch you off guard.
Yeah, and that's all right. We haven't worked the other cases yet here. We have 3 others that we're going to be working, so.
Okay. Anyways, I've got a picture of Adji Desir on the screen. He went missing on the 10th from Immokalee, Florida. Gale won't be able to come there to come to Immokalee this time, but I think you said in a couple of months he might be back down there.
Actually, yes, I will be back down month and a half, 2 months, 3 months at the most, but I may be able to travel back here much sooner.
Okay. Great. And I'm trying to get the camera back on. It's a little slow. It's like really, really slow. Either way, guys, this doesn't... Okay, I think it's coming on now. Well, anyways, I'm saying we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9 o'clock on Missing Persons TV, unless we're missing anything else.
Thanks, Brian, for having me on.
You're welcome. Thanks, Deborah. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Bye-bye.